Well, that fun little intro is showing you guys the featherweight that was at the paint shop. I went and picked it up after it cure and set and all that good stuff. And I'm now in the process of getting the rest of the parts cleaned and then getting it reassembled. But for the purposes of this live stream, I need to get this little princess out of the way and get our table set up to read our next essay because our contest ends tomorrow. Our contest ends tomorrow already. And hello to Emma. Emma was the first one in the live chat. So that's really cool. Let me move this table. Hopefully I don't knock anything over, including the camera or the laptop or anything like that. Like I said, it'd be kind of great to have 3 workbenches, wouldn't it? All right, let me move that back a little bit. There we go. All right, I'll adjust the camera again, but let me get some more music going so I can be inspired to get all this stuff cleared out of the way. Holy mackerel, my phone is going crazy. Someone saying, hey, are you live streaming? You never know, kid. You never know. Holy mackerel. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let's move this. Actually, I got to get organized. Let's get organized. Motor still has to be serviced, so that goes in the dirty box. These still have to be polished. That still has to be cleaned. That still has to be cleaned. As to these, okay, done, dirty, done, dirty, done, dirty, done, dirty, done, dirty, done, dirty. Yep, okay. I don't know if you guys remember what she looked like, but she looks a lot different now. She looks a lot different now, doesn't she? And this is all original paint. And the surface was really nasty looking. It had a lot of crust and crudding, and it's not perfect. It's not ready for the Smithsonian, but I know that Julie is going to be very, very pleased when she sees this Princess of Singers. All right, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. Still have to clean this up. It's got some fingerprints on it. You know, you guys could jump in and help. You're just standing there watching me work. Come on. Blah, blah. No, this is kind of a little bit depressing. My done box is not nearly as full as my dirty box. And yes, I repurposed it from my granola bars. But, oh well. Okay. We're getting close. We're getting so close. We're getting closer. Not really close. Holy mackerel. Mr. Bean, did you pick out this music or what? All right, I'm getting into it a little bit. did I put those machines? Where are the machines? The town of Calico. Did anybody see the town of Calico? I'm trying to find Calico. What do you mean it's next to Milwaukee? I don't think that's right. Come on, you guys. Help me out a little bit, would ya? I found it. Reggie, you want to hold it up? Okay, cool. Great. Thanks, man. Your arms aren't long enough, Reggie. Here, why don't you put your back against it? Hold it like that. Perfect. Is that going to work? I don't know if that's going to work. Here, we almost got it. We almost got it. Almost got it. Just kind of press your butt into it a little bit, Reggie. You got this, man. You got this. I know you do. Getting so busy. Oh, Busy City. Let's play Busy City. Busy City. Ooh, yeah, that's a little bit more gentle, isn't it? Oh, we have to leave room in the middle for our mystery machine. That's right. That's right. That's right. Almost forgot. Who wants to be the mystery machine? Oh, really? Okay. Come on out. Come on out. Jiminy Crickets, I knocked over John Lennon. Sorry about that. They're slapping people at the Oscars. They're knocking over John Lennon. What is this world coming to? Okay, so you're going to be the mystery machine. Just kind of stick your arms out in such a way that you look mysterious. You're already doing it. Very well done. Very well done. There we go. I think we're almost set. I think we got it. Yeah, that looks really good. That looks really good. Well done, you guys. Thanks for all the help. Woo. catch my breath. Oh, you know what though? I need to, yeah. Okay, hold on a second. All right, you move over there. That'll give me enough room so I can sit down and read the next entry. We've got another entry that came in, and the writer must be a night owl because the writer sent it to me at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And then when I got up in the morning, I saw that we had a new entry. So then I sent it to the judges, probably like around 6 o'clock or something like that. Okay. Get my little chair. That's still not going to be enough room. Ugh. All right, come back a little bit further. Checking our shot. Yeah, that's pretty good. There we go. Turn my screen around so I can see what's going on, sort of, kind of. Get my little chair out. I'm going to shut off the heater temporarily. All right, one more song and then we'll jump into this. That last one was Busy City, and that's kind of like Busy Workshop right about now. Blast from the Past. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, ho, ho, ho! Holy mackerel. Oh. All right, if you haven't been a part of the other live streams, let me show you what you can win if you jump into this contest. You can win one of these 270th anniversary Singer Class 15s. My cord's only so long. And you've got to write a story between 100 and about 500 words. It could be a little bit more about the town of Calico. You can, after this live stream, I'll have the directions in. I'll have the link in the directions of this live stream, so you'll be able to find out what you need to do. But the contest ends tomorrow night at midnight. Tomorrow at midnight on the 31st of March. So you're almost out of time. You're almost out of time. See how concerned she looks? Yep, that's her concerned look, yeah. But you can place your story in Calico, California, Calico, West Virginia, Calico, Tennessee, Calico, North Carolina, or South Carolina. All right, let's finally get on to reading this. Oh, hello to Kevin and Doreen from Iowa. Welcome, you guys. And this crazy song is almost done. As soon as it ends, I'll read the next essay that we got. I hope this song doesn't run like 30 minutes. That would be really irritating, wouldn't it? You almost feel like you're in an earthquake kind of vibrating with this music, don't you? All right. That thing goes on and 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 on. So we've gotten a total of 4 entries in for this contest giveaway so far. The 3 arrived last week sometime, and this last one arrived about 1 o'clock in the morning this morning. So let me read this one to you. And then if you guys want, I can always reread the other ones again if you somehow missed. If you somehow missed the other live stream or all the other stuff talking about these limited edition 170th anniversary Class 15 machines that Singer put out last year. If you go from their inception of 1851 to 2021, you've got 170 years. So these came up as a limited offer from Singer, and I scooped up 2 of them. And the winner eventually that the judges pick for this contest for one of these 4, or who knows, maybe in the last hours of the contest, we'll get 1 or 2 more entries. Wouldn't that be cool? Because this one again came in at 1 o'clock in the morning. So people write in the middle of the night. Maybe that's their most inspirational time to write, at 12 midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, depending on where they're located. So, but right now we've got 4. And when the judges pick, that winner will have a choice of picking either one of these 170th anniversary Class 15 style machines. And as I explained in the other live stream, these Class 15s are already set up with a hand crank that came with them. But we can just as easily convert these Class 15s into a motorized machine, or someone could put them into a table and make them into a treadle machine as well. So there's really 3 different ways, apart from like when I goof around and I turn the balance wheel with my finger, then there would be 4 ways, but there's 3 ways that you could power this machine if you're the ultimate winner of this contest. And then the second runner-up and the third runner-up are also going to receive prizes as well. So, don't think, well, if I don't get picked, I don't get anything. The judges and I decided we want the second runner-up and the third runner-up to also get something. And if the contest ends tomorrow with only 4 entries, I'll probably end up doing something for the 4th person as well, even though they weren't the grand prize winner, even though they weren't the second or the third runner-up. I hate to leave anybody out, but obviously, the prizes will tear down in value from the grand prize winner being able to pick one of these 2, or as represented by our niece of the King of Sweden, a mystery machine that I described to you guys the last time we did a live stream about this contest. And that is, I'm not going to tell you what the machine is, but I'll tell you the mystery machine that, if you use your imagination, it's right in the middle here. It's a genuine vintage machine. It was made in Switzerland, and it's set up as a knee control driven machine. Knee control. So all you got to do is lift your leg up, push it over like that, and you're going to be racing off to the races. You're going to be, that didn't sound very good. You're going to be powering it up just by pushing your knee over to power it up. And I can't tell you how many people have told me they love knee control machines, because then you don't have to fuss with trying to find that little button or anything like that down on the ground. You just push it over with your knee. You got both of your hands free for controlling that project, and you're off to the races. So I think it's an exciting mystery thing to kind of throw into the equation and just make this a little bit more of a spicy contest giveaway. So again, either one of these you can pick from if you're the grand prize winner, or as represented by the niece of the King of Sweden, you can pick that mystery machine that is from Switzerland and that's knee controlled. And it is a peach of a machine. It is wow. kind of reluctant to give it up for my personal collection, but I'm willing to do it for this contest. Okay, all of that blah, blah, blah. Let me read this next entry that we got at 1 o'clock in the morning last night. And I'm hoping someone else will surprise us by emailing me another entry in the middle of the night tonight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So we'll end up wrapping up this essay invite with 5 entries. Right now we have 4. This is our 4th one, and I'm going to read it to you right now. And it's titled The Passion. How did my journey start, you ask? Well, it all began way back when, as a mindless stroll around a calico quilt show in a wonderfully homely cafe owned by the same family for generations, afternoon tea and some good conversation ignited a spark. New friends made on this day lit a fire. An invitation. Wait, I apologize. An initiation into the boundless depths of quilting at Calico Cottage created a mile-long list of items soon acquired. Patterns and fabrics and bits and bobs found new homes in the nooks and crannies of a newly created small sewing space. Oh, the time that was spent picking colors and trying machines and soaking up knowledge from quilters galore in the supply store. Sadie and Bee passed down their wisdom in the way only grandmothers know, while Julie and Ella pretend to run the show. They all split their time between store and cottage, a group of tiny tots always in tow. Then a visit was made to Cow Country Vintage Sewing Machines just outside Calico's main square to spend time with Scott and pick out the perfect machine. She's a beautiful 15-91, carefully restored and prepared to sew straight and true, who now has pride of place in that small sewing space. Such a delightful hum she purrs day after day. Unbelievable friendships were forged in the hours, days, and months spent at Calico Cottage, in classes with Sadie and guild meetings and working on charity quilts. But the passion that was ignited never fizzled. No, it grew and grew. Soon that small sewing space filled with quilt blocks and scrap bins, UFOs, and quickie quilts, all of which laid the groundwork for that glorious day when I would be finished and entered into the Calico Quilt Show with the greatest sense of pride. So here I am, the quilt. I'm gonna gesture. Hold on a second. This isn't in the story, but here I am. So here I am, the quilt. And just imagine any one of these, probably this one up here because of the color scheme. My intricate pattern in blues and whites with little pops of color captures the flame of my maker so everyone can see. Each day I hang in the breeze on the outside fence and shine a welcoming smile to all who come to see. The compliments and awe spoken over me that my maker will never hear infuse into my every fiber. I know that even if I go home without a ribbon, I'll still have much to share. Though I love hanging in this beautiful place surrounded by a lovely community of friends and neighbors, I can't wait for the day I'll be back home. I know my journey will end unlike it began, for I will get to spend every day wrapped around my maker, sharing the loving warmth of all I experienced and sparking her next fire. And again, this is titled The Passion. Beautifully written, wasn't it? Wasn't that a beautiful writing piece that someone submitted last night again at 1 o'clock in the morning? The contest doesn't end until tomorrow, the 31st at midnight. So there's plenty of time still. If you've been procrastinating, if you've been unwilling to put your life on pause and, kind of set that time aside so that you have the opportunity to take a swing at this contest, even if you're not motivated. And I've said this in the other live stream, even if you're not motivated by the idea of winning one of these awesome 170th anniversary Class 15 machines that Singer put out last year to celebrate 170 years from their inception in 1851. And even if you're not motivated by the mystery machine that's represented by the niece of the King of Sweden here in the middle, that Swiss machine that's knee controlled, a genuine vintage machine right here, then be motivated by the idea of sharing your talent with the world. We regularly have people from around the world join live streams like this and jump on Facebook. And so you can have a chance to showcase your talent in front of the world and let people see what you can write about calico. I think it's kind of fun, don't you? And again, excuse me, you can build your story around this little town right here that you can see represented in this puzzle, just as our last writer did. They talked about from the standpoint of this quilt that was created, kind of telling the tale of the pride of being displayed on this fence, but ultimately the joy of getting back home and being able to wrap around their creator that made them, just like these two quilts eventually will get home as well and be able to be a part of that family for generations to come. Isn't that the wonder of quilts? Just like these down here as well. The wonder of quilts is that they really do get passed down from one family member to another. And it's a lasting legacy of the creator of that quilt. So there's still time. There's still time to write that story. Again, it only has to be 100 words, but it can be 500 or more words. If you go a little bit over, don't worry about it. About this enchanting town of Calico. The only thing that we don't know from our last writer, and I'll have to reach out to them and ask, is they didn't tell us, or did they? Did they tell us where they situated their story? Was it Calico, California, or West Virginia, or Tennessee, or North Carolina, or South Carolina? I don't think they said, did they? And I'll have to talk to the judges. I don't think the judges will penalize this writer for missing that one point that I asked to be done in the writing of the story. And maybe we can kind of fill in that block. But I'll have to see. Maybe I just missed it. I don't know. I'll look at the chat, see what you guys are saying. All right, let me put on a little bit of music, and I'm going to ask you guys whether or not you want me to reread any of the other or all of the other essays or creative writing pieces that were submitted for this contest. Ooh, Grumpy Mike. That's fun. Welcome to Grumpy Mike. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Not a lot of chatters tonight. And I've seen the numbers kind of going up and down on the live stream. Thursday nights are probably not the greatest night to be doing something like this, or Wednesday nights, excuse me. The middle of the week, everybody's been busy racing towards Wednesday. And, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't literally do it tomorrow night and invite someone to stay up until midnight and write it, but I might do that anyway. So what do you guys think? The few of you that are here. Ooh, Munzer, that's a fun name. Munzler, what does it say? Oh, is it Munster? Or, let's see. Maybe it is Munster. Just picked up a thinner 201 and 15 treadle. A thinner, what is a thinner 201? What do you mean by that? A thinner 201. Munster. That's a fun screen name. I wonder what that is all about. I remember there was a program back in the 70s, wasn't it? It was called the Munsters, but obviously that was spelled differently. And that probably has nothing to do with this person that has joined the live stream tonight. But it's a similar sounding name, isn't it? Oh, okay. A singer. I was thinking it was like a weight loss program for 201s or something like that. You know, there's heavier 201s, and then there's the 201s that have gone vegan and they've lost a lot of weight. And so they're thinner 201s. But Singer 201, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys think? I mean, our flock is small but mighty. Has anyone an interest in me rereading any of the other creative essays that were submitted for this contest? Because they're not going to be posted on Facebook, at least not until maybe after the contest. And then maybe I'll put them up on Facebook so that folks can look at them. Maybe I'll do that then. Oh, yeah, yeah. Lurch and Cousin It. Lurch and Cousin. Now, Lurch was the one that always said, "You rang?" He always said "you rang," but in a lot lower voice than that. You rang, or something like that. Yeah, that was a fun program. I watched that quite a bit when I was a kid, which might explain why I turned out the way I did. I have no idea, but I'm not getting any response as far as if you guys and gals want to hear the other essays again. We just heard The Passion, and then the other ones that were submitted was Missing the Old Times. What else do we have? Grandmother's Legacy and Heartbeat of a Town. Heartbeat of a Town. So do y'all want to hear the other essays since we just heard Passion? Or we can make this a real short live stream. A real short live stream. Emma's saying she wants to hear them. So with everybody's permission, although I probably would do it anyway because I'm a rebel. You guys know me. I'm a rebel, just like you guys. I'll go ahead and read the other ones because you may not have been a part of that live stream. You may not have had a chance to watch the live stream where I read the other 3 essays, and they're excellent. They really are excellent. And what I thought about doing, and maybe I should bounce it off of the judges first, but you know, kind of like when you do a presidential election, you've got the electoral vote, you've got the popular vote, that sort of thing. I almost thought about taking pictures of these and throwing them up on Facebook at the end of the contest while the judges are deliberating the winner, and invite the general public to, you know, cast their popular vote for the essay that they like best. It doesn't mean that the judges are going to follow that lead, but it would at least give all of our friends on Facebook a voice to also say, I like that one better than that one, or that's my pick, that sort of thing. So I'll have to think about that, and maybe the judges can chime in on that as well, as far as seeing if they think that that's a good idea to do. So we'll see. Oh my goodness. Kevin and Doreen from Iowa are stepping away from this live stream so that they can write an essay that I'm guessing that they'll send to me in the middle of the night or first thing tomorrow. They've got all tomorrow as well to send it. As long as it gets to me before midnight Central Standard Time, it's on time. You know what I mean? So that would be kind of cool. All right. So I will read these other essays for those of you that remain in this live stream. So we just read The Passion, which was kind of cool because it was from the quilt's perspective, wasn't it? The creator made a quilt, and the quilt was telling the story. That was I think a neat way to present a creative piece. So now I'm going to read Missing the Old Times. But first of all, I'm going to get something to drink because my throat is feeling a little parched after reading that. And I didn't practice these the last time I read them. and I haven't practiced them since. And I didn't practice the one that I just read. So, it's probably not nearly as good as the author could read it themselves, but I'll give it my best shot. I really will. Okay. So a little bit of music while I'm getting a drink here. All right, now I'm going to get us a little bit closer to Calico. Ask Her Majesty just to step to the side for just a moment. Okay, let's read this next one. I'll go ahead and end this music. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to read for you, the next creative piece that was submitted for this contest giveaway, this Calico contest, is titled Missing the Old Times. So let me read that to you now. And I better turn around because the microphone is actually behind me now, and I'm knocking things over left and right. All right. Okay, so I'm going to turn around so you can hear me hopefully better. Okay, so this one is again called Missing the Old Times. Here we go. The old times in Calico, California, that is. We were booming a while back, hauling tons of silver out of those colorful hills, hence the origin of the town's name. Our little town was a bustling place of industry and creativity. Back then, if you didn't have something, you made it yourself. Sure, we had potters, ironworks, candle makers, and millers. We even had our own specialty shops to keep things humming. One place in particular was our Cow Country sewing machine shop that not only the sewers frequented it, but anyone needing machinist repairs. While we didn't have many cows around our parts, Scott, the owner, came from Cow Country back east. His shop was nestled between the dry goods shop and the Calico Cafe. Lil's Saloon was across the street. Saturdays were busy from dawn to dusk in that little corner of town. Mornings saw a busy cafe and dry goods traffic flow. Afternoons had Cow Country patrons that stopped in for supplies and chats with Scott. Evenings, the clientele move across the street to the saloon. While mostly men went inside, their wives strolled out front, noting whose horses were hitched out front. Those caught were dragged into church the next morning. We had many repeat offenders in church every Sunday. In those days, everyone shared or bartered any extras to be had. From leftover fabric scraps, fruits and vegetables from the garden, candle stubs and eggs from their chickens, nothing went to waste. I was always careful in August to make sure visitors didn't sneak a big bag of squash by my door. We all had too much as it was, so it was a favorite game played by all. You can eat just so much zucchini bread. We had our share of drama too, aside from the hanky-panky at Lil's Saloon. When my boy was little, he got in trouble with his teacher at school. She wrote a note for him to take home and have your mother sign this and bring it back tomorrow. The next day, he returned to school with a note. It was signed Mother. Well, I had to put on my nice purple dress and get him into his Sunday black pants for a visit with his teacher. Secretly, I was thankful in a way because I knew my son didn't have a cunning criminal mind and wouldn't wind up in the sheriff's jail anytime soon. Our life was hard work, but our rewards came from finishing projects and enjoying our beautiful spot in Calico. Enjoying the night stars in the sky, watching the garden sprout into vegetables, all shapes and colors, new kittens chasing moths and snakes, up early with the sun, coffee in hand, and roosters crowing, ending the day snuggled under my patchwork quilts. I guess now they would call us living off grid, but back then there was no grid, and everyone got by some way or another. I miss the old times. Wasn't that well done? Wasn't that a well-written piece? So that one again is titled Missing the Old Times. All right, allow me to get a quick little drink, and then I'll read to you Grandmother's Legacy. Grandmother's Legacy. It's a shame it's not grandmother's rapping because we could totally pull that off with this song. All right, I'll pause this real quick. All right, Grandmother's Legacy. One of my favorite things was when the delivery wagon stopped in front of Lane's Mercantile here in our little town of Calico, California. I'm not sure who gave this rough and tumble little mining town its name. Whoever it was must have looked out over the hills and valleys surrounding the mine and been reminded of a colorful piece of calico cloth that was worn by a pretty girl they once loved. When the sun shone high in the afternoon, the surrounding land took on the look of a patchwork quilt. Nestled in a little valley was our little town that had sprung up out of nothing. Many folks moved here because of the mine and the chance to strike it rich with the silver found here. 2 years ago, when Uncle Joe and I decided to settle here, there was already an assessor's office and a saloon. Uncle Joe knew that the town would need a general store that would carry all the things folks would need as they settled here. He and my papa had run a general store back in Boston before Papa died. They both had a good head for business and did very well with their store. Uncle Joe inherited the shop, but was not happy working there without Papa as his partner. Uncle Joe wanted to start fresh somewhere new, and that's when we made our move to Calico. When Uncle Joe and I stepped out onto the porch of the Mercantile, the delivery driver was already untying the ropes that held all the parcels in place. The 2 horses hitched to the wagon snorted and stomped, anxious to get a little treat. After so many deliveries to our store, they came to recognize me. I gave them each a couple of sugar cubes, an apple, and a scratch behind their ears. Then I had to take my turn bringing in the parcels we had ordered. I managed all the smaller and lighter packages that I could carry and piled them up on the counter inside. Excuse me. Uncle Joe and the driver hoisted boxes and barrels of supplies and carried them to the back of the store. There was one item on the wagon that was carefully wrapped in a thick blanket tied with rope. It wasn't very big, but it was too heavy for me to lift on my own. Uncle Joe lifted it from the wagon and carefully placed it on the counter inside. Just then our friend Scott Geller arrived to see what had just been delivered. He owned the Cow Country Sewing and Repair shop just up the street. He was almost as anxious to see what was inside the package as I, but I already knew what it was. It was both a sad and happy moment as we unwrapped the package. Grandmother had passed on a few months earlier, and many of her belongings had been sold or given away, except this one. She had stated in her will that it was to be handed down to me. I stood in awe as the wrapping fell away to reveal the beautifully polished walnut cover that, when removed, revealed the shiny black and gold sewing machine that was my grandmother's most prized possession. My grandmother was a skilled seamstress and took great pride in the beautiful things she had sewn during her lifetime. She taught me how to sew during the time I had lived with her. My eyes welled up with tears of those memories as I ran my fingers over the glossy black finish and golden swirls decorating this wondrous machine. It could be cranked by hand using the pearly white handle that made the needle go up and down through cloth that would become something wonderful to wear, frilly curtains, or a patchwork quilt. My heart was filled with pride knowing that this lovely machine was now mine to use, and I could continue on with my grandmother's legacy. And then down at the bottom is a salutation of an excerpt from Sarah Lane Macaulay's diary, May 5th, 1884. Another beautiful piece by a very gifted writer, Grandmother's Legacy. So the last one I've got for you is entitled Heartbeat of a Town. Heartbeat of a Town. Allow me just to get a quick drink of water, and then I'll read this one for you to wrap up this live stream. But it gives you an idea, doesn't it? Each one of these authors has taken a slightly different approach to telling the tale of Calico. You know, the author that we got the piece from in the middle of the night last night wrote it kind of from the quilt's perspective, and talking about the creator that made it. Another one talks about the good old times. Another one talks about grandmother's legacy. And now this final author is going to tell us a tale about the heartbeat of a town. And that's the beauty of being a creative writer, isn't it? You don't have to be a professional writer. You have to have a vision. You have to have a desire to tell a tale. And the tale can be told however you decide to tell it. That's part of the reason for this contest. I elected not to really put a lot of requirements into how the story had to be put together. You know, general boundaries, talking about somewhere between 100 to 500 words ish. And I say 500 ish because if it's over 500, it's not going to be a big deal. And then you have to give us a placement of the story. Is it Calico, California, like most of our authors? Is it Calico, Tennessee, Calico, West Virginia, Calico, North Carolina, Calico, South Carolina? And then you have to kind of build cow country into the story, because this again is a quilting and a sewing town, and cow country is the only sewing repair shop that services all of these machines that are operating and humming all hours of the night. So you have to kind of build that into the story, which all of our authors did. And I'm trying to remember if there were any other real parameters to the story. The judges, if any of the judges, if I'm missing anything, just write it into the chat. But those are the general boundaries that I gave for this creative writing contest, where you could win one of these gorgeous 170th anniversary Singer Class 15s, or the mystery machine in the middle. She moves all over the place. Look at that. So, I mean, it's not a real demanding contest, and the prize or prizes that you can pick from are pretty doggone awesome. I'm really glad that I'm going to still have one of these machines left because they're sold out completely now. You might be able to find one secondhand somewhere, but you're not going to be able to get it directly from Singer, probably with all the original packaging that I got and that the winner of it is going to get, because I'm going to package it up just like it came to the workshop and then ship it to that winner. So it's a fun contest where you can write that story however you want to write it. Tell your own tale of Calico. Tell your tale of cow country being in the midst of this humming community of quilters and sewists and other gifted creative people. It's really a fun story to write, I think. It really is a lot of fun to create this town in your own mind and then put pen to paper or sit down to your laptop or your tablet and write it out, just as this author did last night in the middle of the night, and then emailed it to me. And again, in the description of this live stream, I will put the link again so you can review all the requirements. Oh, sorry about that. You can review all the requirements again of this contest, and then you can jump into it in the last hours of this contest. How fun is that? Very, very fun. Okay, so let me get a drink of water and let's read this last piece. Let's read this last piece. I have to remember to swallow the water before you start talking, Scott. Swallow the water before you start talking. Ooh, this is dramatic. All right, heartbeat of a town. Heartbeat of a town. Almost sounds like a heartbeat, doesn't it? All right, put the music on pause. Put the music on pause. Pausing the music. There we go. All right, the first thing I'd like to say is that all of these essays that were written by these very gifted writers, and I define gifted as someone that puts their passion into a pen in a traditional sense and then puts that pen to paper. You don't have to be a professional writer to pull this off. You don't have to be a professional writer to win this contest. All you have to do is close your eyes and envision what Calico is to you, and then write your story and get it in before midnight tomorrow. Get it in before midnight tomorrow. Come on, you guys. All right. Our final story for this live stream is titled Heartbeat of a Town. Heartbeat of a Town. If you close your eyes and quiet your mind, you can feel the soul and heart of any town. In the California mountains of the Mojave Desert sits the ghost town of Calico. In the early 1800s, Calico was a thriving silver mining town, bustling with the activities of miners and their families. Like everything of monetary worth, the silver once so eagerly mined from the land lost its value. Miners and their families drifted to more desirable places until eventually the little town became abandoned. Calico was a happy place, and despite being labeled a ghost town, fond memories of industrious activities comforted him. Of course, towns can't pull up their roots to chase greener pastures, nor the people they once supported. They are forever bound to the earth to which they were born. Only the sounds of empty wind, transient birds, and an occasional creak and clap of an irrelevant door kept him company. Still, for 120 years, he felt his heart was missing and he longed for it. One spring day, a man and his son took a wrong turn and stumbled into Calico. They were on their way to somewhere when the desert town caught their imagination. You know, said the man to his son, all this town needs are a couple of clever carpenters. Both made their living building homes, so they stayed to see what could be done with the old buildings. By the end of spring, two young families explored Calico. In front of a picnic spread, one family said to the other, you know, all this town needs are farmers to plant fields and vegetables. The families sent for their equipment and seeds to see what could be planted. Summertime brought two roommates looking for an adventure. One roommate said, you know, all this town needs are sewists to make clothes, quilts, and textiles. As it happens, they were both good with the needle and sewing machines. They even hung a quilt shop shingle. Soon, skilled crafters were drawn to Calico, artists, painters, teachers, and quilters. A quaint barn houses a talented mechanic which keeps the cars running. A pie shop that boasts the largest, sweetest pies in the country is snuggled next door. The woman who owns the mercantile tends the register, while her shy son stocks shelves, sweeps floors, and feeds the store cat. Greeting visitors at the town entrance sits Cow Country vintage sewing machines and restoration. The shop keeps the sewing machines humming, while Scott and his entourage are the welcoming committee for advice and friendship. Cow Country is the hub of the town center. Everyone who walks through the doors visits long and leaves with a smile, and often a vintage sewing machine. Ghost was dropped from its name as Calico was transformed. Those who brought their gifts to the town worked with their hands and spirits to reimagine and rebuild a community. Calico knew that community is what makes up the heart of a town, and Calico's was beating again. And that again is titled Heartbeat of a Town. Isn't that wonderfully written? Just like the other three that I just read to you. And it really tells the tale in a different way about this town coming back to life from being a ghost town. And that's a factual thing as well. If you Google Calico, California, you'll see that it did in fact become a ghost town and now is kind of being resurrected, almost like this author writes about, and you can visit it today. You just pay $8 and then you can go into this Calico, California ghost town and walk through it and see what's to be seen. And like I said in one of the last live streams, I've got that on my bucket list now. I'm going to go to Calico, California, and if the rest of you can't join me, then I'll document it, kind of like when I went to South Bend, Indiana, and visited that Singer Cabinet Factory, and you'll have a chance to visit Calico, California, just like me. Yeah. So the contest ends tomorrow. This contest opened or started on March 15th. It's been going now for, well, whatever that is, from March 15th to March 31st. And we've had lots of time. We've had a big window of time where any that wanted to step into it could step into it. But here's the good news. That time has not yet expired. Just like Doreen and Kevin from Iowa that were a part of this live stream just a short time ago. And I'm guessing it was Doreen, but it might have been Kevin. They said, would you excuse us? We've got to step away from this live stream and get busy writing a story about Calico. And you could decide to do the same thing. Sit down and put pen to paper or put your fingers on that keyboard and start typing your tale of Calico. And again, try to give us placement with it. Whether it's Calico, California, like most of our authors chose, or maybe you'll choose West Virginia and just make up your own facts about what you want to tell about that town. Or maybe it'll be Calico, Tennessee, or Calico, North Carolina, or Calico, South Carolina. It's all up to you. And again, I'll post a link in the description of this live stream so you can go there and go down my little tick list of things that you should do to make your story a success so that the judges have the privilege and opportunity to read your creative piece. Why don't you do that? Again, you don't have to be motivated by winning something like one of these really cool limited edition 170th anniversary Singer Class 15 machines. Although I'll be honest with you, if I were on the other side of the fence and I had the opportunity to win one of these, and apart from, like I said in the last live stream, apart from someone living in Hawaii or outside of the US, I'm not only going to donate the machine, I'm also going to donate the cost of shipping it to you anywhere in the United States. That's that's pretty cool in my book. So, and all you have to do is write a creative piece about this town right over here. And again, I've got detailed pictures of this town on Facebook that you can look at. I've got detailed pictures of these class 15 machines so you can see what prize is at stake. What can you win? And again, I genuinely think that these machines that Singer did last year in 2021, right in the middle of the pandemic, they said, we're not going to be held back by a pandemic. We're celebrating our 170th anniversary, and we're going to make a big deal out of it, just like we did in 1851. Excuse me, well, they did make a big deal out of it in 1851 when they opened their doors. But what I meant to say is they made a big deal out of their 100th anniversary in 1951. And that's what resulted in that centennial badge. And if you noticed in the opening of this, when I showed that featherweight that I just brought back from the paint shop after I clear coated it, that was a centennial badge on that featherweight that belongs to Julie. So Singer has always done a good job of celebrating their milestones. They did it in 1951 at 100 years, and they did it last year right in the middle of the pandemic for 170 years since their birth in 1851. And you've got a chance to win one of these limited edition Class 15 machines, or the mystery machine in the middle, represented by the niece of the King of Sweden. Again, it's a Swiss machine, a genuine vintage machine, and it's knee controlled. And anyone that has a small collection of vintage sewing machines or a growing collection of vintage sewing machines is going to want to get their mitts on this Swiss knee controlled machine, which is from my personal collection. And it is an original owner machine, which means I bought it from the original owner that bought this Swiss knee controlled vintage machine brand new. And again, I always say Providence is such a big deal. Providence is a big deal when it comes to vintage sewing machines, because when you can trace the ownership of that machine to the original owner that bought it new, and then you are in that lineage of owners, and that list is really short. You know, this machine in the middle and these machines here. I mean, the list is really short. It came from Singer, it came to Scott, and then it goes to you. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. It doesn't get much better than that. So I would strongly encourage you to take advantage of this contest. We only do a contest giveaway every major milestone, and that means every time we get 1,000 new subscribers that join this channel, we do a major giveaway and we do a contest. And in some instances, as some of you know that follow this really closely, we do fundraisers too. At 10,000 subscribers, we did that fundraiser for the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana. right in the middle of the pandemic. As a matter of fact, if you look up those videos that I did down in South Bend, including the closing ceremony where we celebrate our heroes for history, you'll see all of us are wearing masks still because we're right in the middle of that pandemic at that point. And for that particular fundraiser, because of all of you, because of your generous hearts, we raised almost $12,000. Almost $12,000. Our little army of cow country folks stepped behind that cause because as you'll listen to those videos about my visit down there and meeting all of those history museum people, you'll be reminded that during the pandemic, over 30% of museums across the US closed their doors permanently. And then at 11,000 subscribers, when we had gained another 1,000 subscribers from the History Museum fundraiser moving forward, we did a fundraiser for the Oconto Area Humane Society. Again, right in the middle of the pandemic, most businesses couldn't be open to the public. So that Humane Society was at full capacity with critters, but wasn't able to adopt out any animals because their doors were basically closed. And they have all these bills coming in. They're buying food for the animals. They're covering vet bills. They're doing everything else. And I reached out to them right in the middle of the pandemic and I said, "Do you guys need help? Do you need help? We just got done helping a history museum and made a difference for them. Can we do that for you?" And the board of directors for the Oconto Area Humane Society said, "Oh my goodness gravy, that would be a major blessing to us." And so what did our little army of cow country folks do? And these are folks from all over the country that may never visit Oconto. They may never come to the workshop. They may never actually walk in the doors of that local humane society. They may have a humane society in their own community that's struggling as well. But again, the cow country family takes care of them, of other folks. That's the generosity, that's the spirit of being part of the cow country family. And when I reached out to all of you and we kind of tied it to the 50th anniversary of the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie that came out with Gene Wilder. You guys remember that? If you didn't, go and check it out and watch some of the things that we did with that fundraiser as well. And I'm not trying to say, "Hey, look at how great we are. Look at us, look at us, look at us." I'm saying that when folks are in need, all of us should be stepping forward and having that generous heart and seeing how we can help others out. It's the golden rule, isn't it? Do unto others as we want them to do unto us. If we all of a sudden experience a hardship, we're hoping and praying that people around us will rally and help us out. And that's exactly what we had the privilege of doing at different milestones that we've reached through this channel. And what a blessing it is to do that. Don't you agree? I think it really is a blessing to have the privilege to be a part of that. And people from all over the country jumped into the both of those fundraisers. And who knows, when we hit our next major milestone of 13,000 subscribers, and we're already at like 12,100 subscribers. We're like one tenth of the way getting towards our next major milestone of 13,000 subscribers. When we hit that next major milestone of 13,000 subscribers, I'm going to do another contest. I'm going to do another giveaway. And who knows, maybe at that point, we'll do another fundraiser. My heart is tugging right now at the idea of wanting to try to help out with some cause centered around women that are in difficult situations, women that are abused. We've I think this year, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've kind of celebrated women's history, and we've done a lot of things centered around women kind of going through the suffrage time and women gaining rights and all the other wonderful things that came about through our society where women slowly but surely those scales started to even out a little bit more. And But there are still women now that are facing very difficult situations, women that are stalked, women that are abused, women that are in shelters. And I'd love to find a cause that maybe at 13,000 or somewhere in that area we could step behind and raise funds for some organization that is an advocate and is stepping into that corner with women. And oftentimes whenever there's women that are in those difficult situations, there's also children as well, aren't there? There's always kids that are in tow with that woman that's in that very difficult situation. So really we'll be helping women and children in some sort of a difficult situation by helping to fund the mission of that organization that's stepping into that difficult situation to help them out. I think that that's a cause that's worthy of our support. I hope you would agree. We helped a history museum that is in South Bend, Indiana, and has a Singer cabinet factory right in the center of that community. And we stepped into their space and helped them out. We have a local humane society. All of us love critters, and many of us have critters in our homes. And we stepped in there and made a difference for that humane society. My heart really says we should step into the next space where women and children are in jeopardy. They're victimized, they're troubled, they're challenged, they're battling some sort of a battle, and we can step in there through our efforts and contribute to that organization that's trying to make a difference for them. And by doing so, we can make a difference for them as well. Wouldn't that be a great thing to do? I hope so. I hope you'll rally behind that like you have these other causes as well. There I am. Hey, how you guys doing? So, what can I say? We do it big at Cow Country. And I know a lot of my customers and friends are down in the great state of Texas. And their slogan, as Veronica, who is one of our judges for this contest, Veronica Oyama stepped in to cover for Sunny, who is going through some difficult things right now with her cancer and chemotherapy. So just a quick reminder, keep Sunny in thought and prayer as well, would you please? And and just continue to hope that in these last hours of this contest, kind of like my good friends from Iowa, Doreen and Kevin, who, as we're wrapping up this live stream, are writing out their story that they're hoping to get into myself and the other judges before midnight tomorrow. So that'll make 5 creative pieces. And maybe someone else is doing that right now as well that we're not even aware of. But I think the more the merrier, the more creative talent that I can share with all of you and I can share with the judges, the more we can celebrate this Cow Country family. You guys are the smartest, most talented folks around the world. And it's so cool to do special things like this where we can showcase that talent. Don't you agree? So I'm going to wrap up this live stream. If you're in the middle of chatting with someone right now, over here in the live chat, you can kind of see that over there. Yeah, there it is. You see that live chat right there where folks are getting to know each other. We've got, the neat thing about the Cow Country family is we got new people almost every live stream we're doing. We've got Grumpy Mike. We've got Munster, who just acquired a really cool Singer 201 and another machine, a Class 15 treadle. So isn't it kind of neat? We can share these stories with each other of what's happening in our own space with our vintage collection, and that comes by jumping into the live chat during a live stream like this. So I always think it's neat when I think it takes some degree of courage. It takes some degree of courage. Let me tell you guys something that you might not know. Some of the judges that are going to be judging this contest, they sat for a long time in the shadows, not stepping into the live chat, not being a part of that. Some of them years. All right, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to embarrass Emma. I'm going to embarrass Emma right now during this live stream and say that Emma is one of those that sat for a long time in the shadows before she finally stepped out into the light, as I love to say, and joined that live chat and then became an integral part of the Cow Country family. And now is a moderator on this channel and now is a judge for this contest. Are you getting what I'm saying? You don't start necessarily with, hey, some people just jump out and just make it happen. I mean, they just do it. Others kind of watch for a while and then eventually put a toe in the pond and they kind of creep out there slowly but surely, and eventually they become an integral part. They become a household name in the Cow Country family. They just do. If I say Sonny, you immediately know who I'm talking about. If I mention Paula Noel, you immediately know who I'm talking about. If I mention Emma, you immediately know who I'm talking about. If I mention Bill O'Rourke from Kissimmee, Florida, or Kissimmee, Florida, if you're still working on your English. But these are household names. These are folks that probably for a while, I know Emma for sure, sat in the shadows and all of a sudden said, okay, I'm going to step into the light. This Scott guy keeps calling me out, just like he does when we're doing fundraisers. And I'm finally going to jump into the game and be known. I love it when folks get to that point where they finally feel comfortable enough. They watch the activity of the classroom and they realize that it's a place where we share knowledge. I'm not a sewing historical savant that always has all the answers. I'm not. I learn from all of you each and every time in our classrooms. And I think when people see that it's not a place of judgment. You don't have to be afraid if I ask you a question like, what year did Singer open their doors? What year was that? If someone types in the wrong answer in the live chat, folks are not going to jump on them like they do in some Facebook groups. I'm just being honest. In some Facebook groups, you've got people that think that they are the gift from, you know, a descendant of Singer, and they are sometimes a little bit hypercritical of people if they don't get the right answer or if they try to join a conversation and they don't have as much information as the other folks that are interacting with each other. I hope you never feel that that's the case in this classroom. This classroom is a shared environment where we learn from each other. We learn from each other all the time because all of you are very smart. All of you have life experience. All of you have been exposed to different vintage sewing machines and have had different struggles with sewing machines. And those are things that we can learn from, right? I hope so. And that's where, when you finally decide to step out of the shadows into the light and join that live chat, this live chat right over here, and you introduce yourself just as must, what is it? I can't talk. Just like our new people did tonight. They introduced themselves. And Grumpy Mike. That's where we can celebrate just the incredible diversity of our group. We all come from different backgrounds. We're from different parts of the country. We're from different parts of the world. And we're able to contribute something to our classroom. And now you have an opportunity to contribute something to this contest giveaway. It's a creative piece, just like our authors did. The Heartbeat of a Town, Grandmother's Legacy, Missing the Old Times, and our latest entry, The Passion. So I hope you decide to do that. Again, this contest ends tomorrow night on the 31st at 12 midnight. So you've got a little bit more than 24 hours to write a creative piece, email it to me, and then I can share it with the judges, and we'll pick that ultimate winner, the second runner up, the third runner up, and then that contest will be history. It'll be history, and someone will have won either the mystery machine in the middle. I apologize for pointing at you. That was kind of rude. Either win the mystery machine in the middle, represented by our niece of the King of Sweden, one of these two machines, or if you're a second runner-up or a third runner-up, you'll be able to receive also a very cool package of fun stuff, which I had a recommendation and I think I'm going to do it. that second runner-up and that third runner-up, and certainly the grand prize winner as well, is going to receive a care kit of my special blend of oil that I use on all machines that come through the workshop. And also, let me grab one so I can show you. Also win a little tub of my pink grease that they can use on gears, and they can service their machine with it. So if you've really been wanting to get your mitts on some of my, there I am. If you've really been wanting to get your mitts on some of this pink grease that you'll see in Facebook pictures, I'll talk about it and I'll irritate a lot of people because they're like, doggone it, why don't you just sell this stuff? Because I told you that I've been working on developing this pink grease for a number of years, and it actually works better than the original Singer grease. It's more lasting, provides better lubrication, it lowers viscosity, which means it increases the performance of your vintage machine as well. So the grand prize winner is going to receive a little tub of this, as will the second runner-up and the third runner-up as well. And I might slip some over to the fourth runner-up or the fifth runner-up. You just never know. You know what I mean? So y'all enjoy chatting with each other for a little bit. I'll put on some more music. I think you've had a chance to see these 170th anniversary limited edition machines, and you can kind of let your imagination run wild as far as this mystery Swiss knee-controlled machine that I'm offering also as an incentive to join this essay contest that ends tomorrow night at midnight. At 12:01, if you email me, it's going to be too late. So jump on this, join this fun. And I really do see this as fun when you have the opportunity to create something like this and to share it with the world. I think that's a cool thing to do, don't you? Because once the judging is done and the grand prize winner is picked, the first runner-up, the second runner-up is picked by the judges, I'm going to reveal who wrote these stories. I'm going to give their names as to who wrote these stories, and then everyone will know. Everyone's going to know then who wrote these beautiful pieces. They're all, in my opinion, and I'm not a professional writer. I enjoy writing, but I'm not a professional writer. All of these are deserving of recognition, and it's going to be a real tough thing for the judges to pick a winner and a second runner-up and a third runner-up. These are all four of these that I've read to you, I think are fabulous. I hope you agree. They were really well thought out. They were really well written, and they all came with their own flavor of calico. They all came with their own flavor of calico. Your Majesty, could you move, please? Thanks. So jump into this, have fun with it, win something really cool. And with that, I'm going to put on some music. I'm going to put on some music while I still have a voice and enjoy chatting a little bit more with some new friends that are in that live chat. Yeah, do that. That would be cool. Yeah, I don't like that one. How about this one? Ooh, that's fun. Yeah. Yeah, I like this one a lot. All right. All right, thanks, everybody. Mr. Bean, come on, buddy. Let him see calico. Really, Herr Obermeister? You guys. All right, I'm getting ready to end the live stream. Remember, if you're in the middle of chatting with somebody, or if you want to say your goodbyes, you can do that even after the live stream ends. So get your essay in tonight. Drink a bunch of Red Bulls. Suck down some coffee. I don't know. Eat some chocolate. And join this contest before it's too late. Take care, everybody. God bless you.